So in this video, we're going to look at the basic data types in Python, for example, integers, floats, booleans, and string. So the first two here, integers and floats, can be categorized as numbers. So we all know that a number can either be an integer or float. So let's look at an example here. Suppose we assign number, a value 3 to a variable x, right? We can simply output this out here. So like this. So for example, we can just output this and it should be able to tell us this is our a value 3. But how do we know that whether this is an integer or let's say a float? To do that, just simply use the function type. As you can see here, Python gives you auto completion. So I could either select that, or I could just use parentheses and pass our variable. So when I run this again, it tells us this is actually class int, right? So if I change this to maybe 1 and do that again, you see this changes to float. Okay, so let me return this to 3 because I just want to do a little bit of addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So again, we're going to use the print function here to output the original value, which is x value here. And then each time here, we can just say x plus 1 for addition, x minus 1, x times 2. We use this asterisk here for multiplication. 2 asterisk just means exponential. So here we use the print function to explicitly output each of this output in a new line. If you're just gonna type this, so if you're gonna just type this as 1 plus 1, and then you say 2 minus 1, okay? So what will happen here, it will only output the first one and not the second one. So we use the print function to make sure that we're able to see all of this output in a single line, all right, or rather in a new line. Okay, now that we know that, Python also uses this shorthand command plus equals to just show you that you're going to increment by 1. It's the same thing as saying x equals to x plus 1. Okay, if you expand that. So print that again, and you can see here the original value, which was 3. And then after incrementing that by 1, our value here has been added 1 original value. So we have 4. Again here, if we use this again here, we just want to increment the new value, which is 4, increment that by, or rather multiply that by 2. So if we expand that, it's just saying 4 times 2, and then we print the new value for x. And that's why we have 8. Simply here again, we assign a new value to another new variable called y. We get the type. Again, this will be float, and then in a print statement, we can, output 3 values here. Okay, 3 outputs separated by a comma. So this would be the original. Then we add plus 1, multiply by 2, and then find the exponent. So when we do that, you can see we get all this output for each of that. Okay, so again, this is just a very nifty way of, including different outputs in one print statement. Lastly, here we're going to look at a boolean. Boolean is just boolean logic. It's either true or false. So as you can see, it's blue in color. These are called reserved or keywords in Python. Okay, so let's say, for example, we assign true to a variable called t and false to a variable called f. You can use the keyword here again, the same as the reserved keyword. Okay, so suppose we wanted to find the type of maybe a variable called maybe f. Okay, so we do that again. It tells us actually it's a boolean type. Okay, so lastly here, we can use logical and just to check, is t and f, want to find out if they're actually both true. You can only return if both are true. So this will be false. Okay, but when we say t or f, right, so either one of those then will be true. Okay, not true. Okay, so t here is true. So logical not, so this will print false. Okay, because we don't want to get true here, so that will be false. So it's not true. So we want to negate that. So essentially will be false. And then this symbol here, we use this to show exclamation equals to is basically just say is not. So it's called logical XOR. So this will print true because we just want to check, is this true equals to false? okay, is true is not equals to false. So again, this will evaluate as true. So print that, and we can see now that's what the output that we have. Okay. Next, we're going to look at string in a separate video on its own.